Guy has been able to talk his way into a lot of homes to do work. I put him in the Hall of Shame last week, and as soon as I did, the phone lines lit up. Meet 4 people who say they were victimized by Darren Ballard. Marlene. So you took him to court and you won a judgment for how much?
$3,100.
Lance.
My head was hanging low. It was not a proud moment in my life.
Jennifer.
He's a very creepy person.
And Sterna.
Never cleaned up once.
And you have, how many children do you have?
4.
And Darren, the unlicensed contractor who's got an arrest record that reads like a book, doesn't want to add another chapter. You dug the grave, dude.
I did. I'm just trying to get out of it, but I don't want my probation officer to be calling me again.
Last week, I introduced you to Michelle. She paid Darren Ballard more than $4,000 to do some remodeling on her house. She says Darren did lousy work, never showed up when he said he would, and showed up unannounced and just walked in her door.
Hello.
Michelle got a bad feeling about the guy, and man, was she right. She discovered Darren Ballard was a habitual felon, a guy who spent years in prison for an assortment of felony convictions all over Metro Detroit.
He's a con artist.
Since Darren is on probation and was doing her work without a contractor's license, she filed a police report and demanded her money back. Darren gave her $2,000 and promised her the rest of the money by next week. When he didn't deliver, I did. Rob Walchuk from Fox 2. Hey, when are you going to bring Michelle the rest of her money? Michelle, the lady out in Dearborn Heights.
I just gave her $2,000.
Yeah? Well, she wants all of her money back. She thinks you ripped her off.
No, I didn't rip her off.
Darren claimed he was working for his wife's company, Hat Construction, even though the checks were made out to him personally. His wife, Carolyn, tried to cover for him, but she doesn't have a contractor's license either.
I understand, like, your issue with his felonies, but if you look at my record and me being the owner of the company, and yeah, I'm young, maybe I didn't know I had to have a license.
Darren claimed he was a new man and would pay Michelle the rest of her money.
Yeah, I ripped off people years ago. I don't do that now. That's not my game.
He claimed last week, oh, you know, he's reformed. He's not a scam artist anymore. And he's
Reformed his pockets with everybody's money, yes, that I believe.
Jennifer called me when she saw the story. She says she hired Darren to paint her house.
He painted half of the ceiling on the rooms that he said he was going to paint, and then it stopped, and then I never saw him again.
What's Darren Ballard say about that?
She gave me $700, okay, to paint a laundry room, a kitchen, and a hallway, which are all done.
Then there's Lance. He owns rental properties in Detroit, even though he lives in Florida.
When you saw the story, what did you think?
I'm embarrassed.
Lance says Darren convinced him to fix up some of his properties.
He sounded like he knew what he was doing and that he had a lot of jobs and that he was very familiar with the process. And he also said that he was a contractor.
Lance suspected Darren was charging him for work he wasn't doing, and then after he last paid him for a job, stopped communicating with Lance, period. What's Darren say?
What I got to do for Lance is scrape like 12 windows down and paint them. That's all the money I owe the guy. And that happened right during the COVID thing.
Not exactly. This was in June. The stay-at-home order for contractors was lifted in early May. He says you told him that you were a licensed contractor. Is that true?
No.
Marlene hired Darren to remodel the bathroom in her one-bathroom house in Madison Heights. Darren tore out her tub and broke the flange.
I had to go down the stairs, try to wash my hair, try to take a sponge bath with a tub on the floor, a little, like a dishpan.
And this was in November. You gave Darren, though, like 6 weeks to finish.
Right.
And he didn't.
No.
Even though he knew you didn't have anywhere to bathe.
Right, he knew that.
She finally hired another company, sued Darren, and has a judgment against her. So you owe her $3,100.
Absolutely.
Sterna gave Darren $11,000. He hired crews to do some of the work, but she's been waiting 3 months for Darren to come finish. In the meantime, this is what her yard looks like. There's metal and nails all over the place, and she's got little kids. So those are laying all over your yard?
Yes, and small ones.
I went and looked at the garbage. You could get a guy in a wheelbarrow and a truck, and you could have that area cleaned up in 2 hours. And you should have taken care of that. That's unbelievably inconsiderate. Darren says he's going to finish Sterna's job. Do you think he will? He did pay Michelle the rest of her money after my story aired last week. I'm going to mention that you paid Michelle back. I applaud you for that. That's great.
Right.
Maybe TV exposure will keep Darren on the straight and narrow. He knows his probation officer is watching and his unhappy customers.
I'm just want to clean these 5 little things up so I can be done with this. I don't want to have to go deal with that. If I get locked up, then I can't even finish my jobs or nothing, then I'm really going to be screwed over.
Well, they feel like they're screwed over already, so they might want to see you locked up. After I scolded Darren about the junk laying around Sterna's house, he was out there today cleaning it up. He promises to finish her job, Lance's job, and pay Marlene the judgment he owes her. Darren doesn't like being on TV, but I kind of think it's good for him. Huel?
Rob, at least the guy seems to be making an effort to make things right, but he still doesn't have a license, and he still owes people money.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the guy with a criminal record like that to come out, and obviously he appears to be lying about the builder's license, telling people he has a builder's license when he doesn't have one. But I think these people that are into him, he's got a bunch of their money. Like that one lady, she gave him $11,000, and she wants to get whatever work she can out of him. So I'm glad he's out there. If she wants him there, that's up to her. But I wouldn't hire the guy.